Deal with me here for a minute. I'm trying to get things set up and it's just not cooperating. Going to be talking about TikTok today and the knitting, crocheting, fiber arts community. I'm still trying to get this to do what I want it to do, and it's not working. This is not cooperating with me today. Not everybody is technologically savvy. Trying to get this other one set up so I can. And it's not allowing me. Here we are. Good morning, Witchy. Good morning, Mini Donkey Lover. Home hooking. As I was saying, I'm talking about TikTok and the knitting community. And I have found a great bunch of women on TikTok, very supportive, and I'm lucky to have found them. And we are all currently working on a project, which I have here in front of me. A little sip of coffee there. Let me see if I can't get this to come in a little bit bigger. We don't need this here. Nor do we need any of this. Get all of that out of our way. And I do believe that I'm going to have to move that back over here because I can't see what you all are saying to me. Yeah. Us older people don't have really good eyesight, so we have to move things around and figure out how it works best. I will get it in gear. There we go. I think we can see the project a little bit better now. We can move some of this out a little bit. Give us a little bit more room. I'm working on the Dream Catcher cardigan, and this can be found on Pinterest. I can't remember who designed this. This is terrible. I know that Home Hooking can probably help me with that. She'll jump in here and say something in a minute. Ned and Minnie. There we go. Ned and Minnie. The version that they did, the pattern. The pattern is free on their website. They do have a printable PDF without ads that you can pay for. Ned and Nene. Sorry. I've picked out a few colors. I'm still working on the other side over here on this side. But you can see this one here. We're almost finished. When I get done, this gets folded in. This will get folded in. It'll get seamed together, leaving a gap open for a sleeve. This one here is for 4-year-old girl. I think she'll like it a lot. Her favorite color is purple. But it starts off as a circle, and you add rows to that. And then, of course, you've got your make it a square, which uses just about every crochet stitch. Singles, half doubles, double crochets, treble crochets, a lot of stitches. But it was fun to do. And we are working over here on these other extension sides. But as I was talking about the girls, we're all, the whole group of us are working on this cardigan. Some of us have made several of them. Some of us are still working on them. I actually made one already, and I put a knitted border Pull it out here so you can see it. I haven't woven my ends yet, so we know that they need to be done. But I put a knitted border around the collar band, and I also put knitted cuffs, sleeves, on a crochet project. Yes, you can do that. Crochet, knit, knit, crochet. It's all interchangeable. All interchangeable. And I'll show you the back side of this one so you can see some of the colors. And this was done with Lion Brand Mandala cake, so the colors changed as I went through. And this little girl loves pink, so one pink, one purple. But back to this lovely group of women. We're all working on projects together. We keep finding things on Pinterest, and we're like, look at this pattern, look at this pattern. And we all have a lot of fun. You still need to do the collar and the cuffs home hooking. Minnie's going to redo her sleeves. We're doing decreases right here. Double crochet decreases, where you put more than one stitch together to make your decreases, and it'll make your work come in like a triangle, because I started here and it's coming together as I decrease on the sides. I'm not sure what color Minnie did hers in. Oh, home hooking, you're not slacking. You're working on all kinds of things. You got your spoon in many pots. Many, many, many different pots you got your spoon in right now. Oh, goodness. That yarn just wanted to be right dead center. I'm relatively new to TikTok and learning all kinds of things. How to edit videos. We were talking about that this morning. How to do certain things, but I'm pretty much here just to help teach people how to knit or how to crochet, how to do certain stitches. I'm going to be showing all gray, how many? Home Hooking's got 4 projects going. Well, honey, I got you beat. I got like 7 or 8. And most of them are all knitted, so they're on needles, not hooks. When you have that many projects going, what do you do with your patterns and your needles that you're working on that project with? Do you store them with that project? Do you store your pattern with that project? Oh yeah, you're working on that one that you're allergic to. I hope you can get that done soon and get that out of the way, because you had some serious reactions to that fiber that you were working with. Almost like immediately. It wasn't good. You write it in a notebook. I would lose the notebook. I have went to the dollar store and bought those little fabric cube things that you can put on a bookshelf. And I have a good bit of them, because sometimes I can have anywhere from 10 to 15 projects going at a time. And I take the hook, the tape measure, the row counter, the pattern, I put it all in those little fabric cubes. Yeah, I've got hooks galore. Hooks galore and needles galore. And I got more than my fair share. I think I could have a class of probably 20 or 30, and everybody would have what they needed, and I wouldn't have to go nowhere. Wouldn't have to go out, purchase anything, and everybody's got it right there. Oh yeah. Having little problems getting started this morning. Not enough coffee. I know a lot of people know what not enough coffee. Yeah. I used to have a favorite crochet hook once upon a time too, but now I just grab what's not stuck in a project, because I've had issues to where I start a project and I don't put the pattern with it, so I can't find the pattern. A lot of them I've had to pull out because I couldn't find the pattern. Go back online or back into my computer hard drive, external hard drive, trying to find a pattern. I have to pull it back out. Such is the life of a crafter. Oh, I love your crayon hook set. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Might throw out a couple of shout outs while I'm on today, just to help support some small businesses and, you know, help the women who have helped me. Toss it out there, here and there. We're going to talk about this cardigan though. I don't know how many of you crochet, how many of you knit. As far as my little group of friends, I know that they all crochet and they all knit now. Actually, we have one that doesn't knit yet. Get with the Brooks. Get with the program, Brooks. I don't know if she's on here. She's probably at work right now. She'll be on later. She'll holler. And we'll tell her. She got to start knitting. She got to do a knit project with us when she gets done this order of Easter orders that she's filling. All of us seem like we got so many orders going on right now. It's hard to keep up. It's hard to deal with all of us sharing patterns, and everybody likes patterns and are like, we got to make this. Let's do it together. And then we got to try and squeeze it in between our orders and try to, you know, get ready for vendor events and, you know, just life in general. We all get so busy. And I think I probably did an extra row. I think I was supposed to change colors. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, yeah, I did way too many rows. Got to take 2 of those out. Oh, this is heartbreaking. No, I'm kidding. You make a mistake, you pull it out. It's not like you have to scrap the whole project and throw it away. And just go back. And I don't know if some of the new crocheters have issues counting rows. It's really easy to count your rows. I don't know if you can see here. Little sets of open spaces in between these little purple stitches. That's 1 row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some people like to count by the lines. I like to count by the spaces. It's, you know, whatever works best for you or however you've been taught. Then crafting is all about the way you do it. There is no right way or no wrong way to craft. And I know some people, they say, oh, what are you getting ready to do? I'm getting ready to change colors right here. And some people will cut the yarn off in crochet, fasten it off, put a knot there, and then knot the color change onto their hook and reattach it with the slip knot and go from there. I don't like to do a whole lot of cutting, nor do I like to do a whole lot of sewing. So we're getting ready to go to this color here. And I'm working with Brava Sport Weight yarn, Knit Picks. I used to do all of everything that I did with the worsted weight Red Heart, because when I first started crocheting and knitting, actually, I wasn't even old enough to buy anything. I wasn't old enough to have a job. Started out, my mom taught me when I was 9. I'm now 51 years old. I've been doing this for a very long time. And it's pretty much just been a hobby for me until now, trying to sell some of my crafting creations. And I know a lot of us are trying to find outlets to make a little extra cash during this inflation. It's crazy. But we're not going to get on that topic. We're going to stay happy here. And I know I'm getting ready to go into Bob Ross. Are you ready? Are you ready? Just a few years. Minnie commented, LOL, just a few years, eh? Yeah, I've only been doing it for a few years. Got to keep an eye on these comments. I'm just rambling along. Bob Ross, yeah. We're going to do happy little stitches here. We're going to put a happy little stitch here. This one's just for you, home hooking, and another happy little stitch right there. You know, life is hard, and I just want to have fun. I want to have fun any way I possibly can. I want to encourage other people, not just necessarily crafters, other people. Go out there and grab life by the horns and make it yours. Make it yours. You know, it's your life. You have to live it. Why not live it the happiest that you can? And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I wanted to try and have a little bit of history ready, but, you know, life happens. Things you want to do kind of get pushed to the wayside. So, you know, you don't stop and say, oh, well, because I'm not prepared, I'm not going to do this. You just fly by the seat of your pants like I'm doing today. And a lot of crafters do when they get to creating. They just fly by the seat of their pants. Sometimes they don't even follow a pattern. They just start stitching and let's see where this goes. Or let's see what this does. And a lot of designs come out of it. A lot. I'm going to talk a little bit today about altering patterns. A lot of patterns can be altered size-wise just by doing a gauge swatch. Certain patterns require certain size needles to obtain the size that you want. It's really important for wearables. Blankets not so much, but you need to pay attention a little bit, because if you don't, your blanket's going to be too small or it's going to be way too big. I've had some issues with that, you know. You learn as you go along. Hi, Peaches. How are you this morning? I see Sweet Pickle Feet. Oh, I have to ask you, how did you come about that name, Sweet Pickle Feet? If you guys have any questions, anybody coming in new, I don't know how to pronounce that. I hope I don't murder this. You Carrie Copeland, Cruisamore, welcome. Thank you for the follow. When you were 20, you threw some words together. I think that's nice though, Sweet Pickle Feet. Yeah, home hooking, I'm stitching. I'm trying to stitch and I'm trying to read the comments. I told you I was new to this video thing. I'll be all over the place. Here we go. We made another mistake. We're on the decrease now. Let's make sure we got our 3 stitches there. I don't know if you can see this in crochet. There's little V's here that you can see along. I'm trying to make sure that you can see this. And I've got 1, 2, 3 at the end of my row, and there's where I'm going to do my decreases. My double crochet 3 together. And in this pattern, they say the chain 2 at the end of the row is counted as a stitch. So when you do your rows, you have to include that stitch. And sometimes it is a real pain in the butt to get into. Even the yarn didn't like it. I heard it squeaking. 30 years ago. Well, you're right up in the same age as I am, Sweet Pickle Feet. 30 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about TikTok or doing videos. I was deep in children. I had 4 children. Let me correct that, 4. So I was busy. Now all my kids are grown, and I have my craft and my dogs. And of course all my wonderful friends. Got a lot of people coming in, and I tell you, TikTok needs to make this print bigger for people who have, oh yeah, 19. That's an age. My youngest is 23. But yeah, we're coming up on the end here. This is going to go down to where we have just 3 stitches left, and we're going to put them all together into one. And then this corner extension on this Dreamcatcher cardigan, which again can be found on Pinterest. There are a couple versions. The pattern that I used was the Ned and Nene pattern. This was actually sized extra small all the way up to, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't have the pattern right in front of me, a 5X. A 4 or 5X. So it a range, and those were all adult sizes. I've used a smaller hook so that I could make this particular wearable for a 4-year-old. Oh, I'm so sorry, Minnie, about the squeaky yarn. Sometimes that happens when you knit too tight or you try to squeeze it through a loop that's too tight. I wasn't knitting, I was crocheting on the first cardigan that I'd done finished. And for all the people who just come in, I will stop real quick so I can show you what the finished one looks like. Again, I haven't woven in all my ends, but when I was working on this, some of the stitching did get pretty tight, and my husband said to me, "Is that yarn screaming?" I said, "Yep, it sure is." But I've taken a crocheted cardigan and I've put a knitted collar band on it and knitted cuffs. Yes, I haven't done all my curse of the trade, it sure is. But knitted cuffs onto a crocheted cardigan, I'm sorry. I went around the openings that were left open with a single crochet, and it said to single crochet, to crochet the sleeves. I didn't care for the way they looked, and I like a more stretchy cuff, so I went with the knit. And anyone who has any questions, I'm here to help. I'm here to, if you have any questions about crochet, about knit, I do a lot of different crafts with yarn. I do plastic canvas. Yeah, if you put your hook in your hair, it'll stop. I used to put my hook up in my bun when I would stop crocheting for a minute, and then I'd lose my crochet hook because I forgot where I put it. It's just like having your glasses on your head looking for them. But yeah, if anybody who has any questions, they can drop me a message. If I'm on here live, feel free to multi-guest if you have a question. I'll do my best to help. But like I was talking about here, I ramble. Altering patterns. I have another pattern of knit that I'm working on. I'm not going to show it right now, but I will show it in another video. I've actually taken, here we go, skipping our decreases again. I've actually taken a knitted pattern from one of the books that I have purchased, and I'm making a smoker's jacket for my husband. One of the vintage smoker's jackets. What do I do there? And we got to go back because I started it too late. Find my chain too. I can find it. Here we go. Get my hook back in here. But yes. 2. Alright, as you can see, my hook doesn't want to cooperate with me, or it's operator error, one or the other. Something is just not wanting to work here. Here we go, screaming again. Sorry, girls. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Give me just a second here. I had to turn some heat on this room because this is an extension room in the house, and it's warm in here now. Look at you warm. Oh. And I'm probably putting a little bit of moisture because my hands are a little sweaty at this point. You use your glasses all. I have to keep them on my face because without them I cannot see, which is terrible. I've been wearing glasses all my life almost, from 4 years old. So I don't lose them too much. It's become a habit. On the face in the morning before I even get out of bed, and off the face at night right before I put my head on the pillow. So never really lost them. And here I am all frame knitting, or crocheting. Knitting. That's one thing you don't do to a crafter, called crochet knit or knit crochet. Oof. But sometimes we're just like, yeah, it's okay. Call it what you want. There's a lot of people coming in right now. Hi, how are you? I can't see everybody's name. I don't really... TikTok needs to be a little bit better of how they highlight the comment section. It's hard to see. Here we go. It's decrease time and we're missing it. That's a talent too. You know, some people can walk and chew gum at the same time. I cannot crochet and talk at the same time, apparently. Either that or not enough coffee, one or the other. And it's already after 8 o'clock my time. I don't know what time it is where everybody else is at. Ego for life. Wow, that's another neat little screen name. How about that? Isa Cocoa Puff. Welcome. 8:38 in Ohio. Oh, you're not far from me, honey. I'm out on the East Coast. I think we're almost down to the row before the last. Yep. Maybe 2 more rows. Maybe 2 more. But yeah. My mother taught me to crochet. My dad's sisters, 2 of my dad's sisters taught my mother to crochet. So her sister-in-laws taught her. And probably about 10 years ago, I had thanked both of them because it's snowing. Oh, we had some flurries this morning. I'm in southern Pennsylvania. Southeastern Pennsylvania. Oh, there's Brooks. We was talking about you, girl. You missed it. You get those bunnies done, we're going to have you in on a knit pattern. Isa Coco, I understand, just starting to learn a new craft. It is kind of hard, but everything's hard when you first start. Everything is hard. And taking that step to try and, you know. Oh, we need to do decreases again. What are we doing? To do. But, yeah, learning a new craft, it takes a little bit. It's not that hard. When I was taught, all down to 1. There we go. Now we're going to fasten this off. I look at it like this. When you're crocheting, and I'm not sure if you're crocheting or if you are knitting, Abs from Texas, good morning to you too. Oh, Jen's in Central PA. We have a couple inches of snow in Central PA. Well, I'm out southern, the southeastern part of Pennsylvania. We had a few flurries this morning, but that's not it. You just got off the bus run, huh, Brooks? We're going to get you on a knitting project just yet. Yeah, soon. But back to Isa Coco. Everything you start is going to be hard. What type of flower are you trying to crochet? The devil's sport. Knitting is not the devil's sport. If you got into it, you'd really like it. I taught my daughter to crochet. She's 33. And she crocheted, and I kept wanting to teach her to knit. She didn't want to learn. She didn't want to learn. I just taught her how to do that earlier on, or over the summer last year. Now all she wants to do is knit. She just wants to knit, knit, knit. She forgot about crochet altogether. But Isa Crochet or Isa Coco, if you let me know what type of flower you're trying to crochet, I might be able to help on the live today. What do you mean, who me, home hooking? I'm talking about my daughter, teaching her how to crochet in the beginning, and she didn't want to learn how to knit, and all she wants to do is knit, knit, knit now. She put her crochet hooks down. We got her a full set of 14-inch Knit Picks knitting needles, and she's just going to town. I'm not sure what that is. Jenna Donna, can you explain to me the gifter badge? I'm new to these TikTok videos. If you did send me a gift, thank you very much. I don't know where it would show that you did if you did. But if you did, thank you. All you want to do is knit. Yeah, I like to knit, but I have to take a break every now and then because, you know, knitting gets to be, you know, you work on one project long enough, or not one project, but multiple projects, you just want to do something different. So when the group suggested these Dreamcatcher cardigans, I was like, okay. But the issue I have with doing a lot of crochet, and I have carpal tunnel, and it causes a problem. You saw a beginner flower for crochet. I have a lot of different flowers that can be crocheted, and most of them are in the mercerized cotton that you use for doilies. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. But I can do bleeding hearts, I can do lilies, I can do daffodils. I've done a lot of roses. They're pretty simple. And if you would like for me to do a tutorial. Oh, you sent me a donut to say good morning. Oh, 3-month-old does take up a lot of time. Thank you for the gift, though. But if you want to see me demonstrate a rose on here, I can pull up a pattern really quickly, I think. I should have been a little more prepared with a couple of patterns. But really, it's only 3 or 4 rows, and you do a lot of wrapping. Would you like to see a rose? I can show you one of those. And I'm not sure what type of yarn you're working with. I can do it in this yarn that I have right here. I can do it in worsted weight. The only thing that I suggest when you do that, switching from yarns, is use the recommended hook size, or the recommended, if it's knitting, use the recommended needles for that specific yarn, unless it has to be gauge specific for like a sweater or a cardigan. Let me see if I can just pull this out of my memory. I know that you had to, because I've done a lot of them, especially Valentine's Day. I do the, it's like a slip knot. It's almost like doing the magic circle. You wrap it around your fingers just one time, and when you bring it back over, the one you're wrapping goes to the left here. And I don't know if many people know how to do that. You just grab the other side from under here, go underneath and grab that and pull it through. And it just gives you a slip knot. So if you make a mistake, you can take this right off your hook, pull the stuff out, and you don't have little teeny tiny knots in your string. It's just a slip knot. But you're going to chain 35, and you actually work a crocheted V-stitch, and then you work clusters in the V-stitch on the way back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm trying to keep up with the comments. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oops. 6, 7, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. You do know a basic chain. I just don't want to assume. But then you're going to go back into the third chain from your hook, and I'm going to bring this a little closer so you can see. I'm going to get this to where the camera's got a good view on it. You're going to go three chains back from the one on your hook. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. And you're going to insert your hook in that loop, in that chain rather, not loop. Get my hands here together. And actually, you're going to yarn over because you're going to do a double crochet. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to do your double crochet. You're going to chain 1. And then you are going to do another double crochet in there. And in the same stitch. In the same stitch. Then you're going to chain 1. And you're going to skip a stitch. And double crochet into the next chain. Chain 1. And then do another double crochet right in that same chain. I'm going to do a little bit of this, but I'm not going to do it all the way down. Well, let me just do it all the way down. That way I can show you the full, what it looks like when it gets done. If you have any questions about, okay, you know a basic chain, about what I'm doing along the way, I will try to keep an eye on the comments and keep looking to make sure that I don't leave anybody behind. But you just do that V-stitch, and of course there's a lot of YouTube videos that give a lot of instruction on this. And I hope I've got this right, but I know it will come out right because we'll make it come out right. But I will post a link to the pattern for this because it is on Pinterest. It's not anything that I've created myself, but there is a pattern on Pinterest. I'll post a link in my TikTok so that you can do that or find it. You're not doing each chain. You are skipping one, and it is going to kind of start to curl because you see how it's doing now. It's getting a natural curve to it. You are going to skip one chain in between the V-stitches that you're doing. So after a double crochet, you're going to chain 1, which I've already done, yarn over. You're going to skip the next chain and go into the chain after that to do your V-stitch in. So you're using every other chain in your main chain, you know, your foundation chain. Okay, and I'm going to leave a little bit of this hanging so I can come back and do the next row so that you can see how it comes out in the end. And I'm hoping that this is the basic structure of it. I'm not sure if I have more stitches in between these V-stitches, but I'm going to turn this around now. And you're going to be working through both loops of your chains on this side. You're going to chain 2, when you turn. And then you're going to do double crochets in the V-stitch. So we're going to do, I remember now, okay. You are not going to chain 2 at the end of that row. I'm sorry to confuse you. If I'd have had the pattern out here, it would have been a lot better. But I'm doing this from memory, so. You are going to single crochet into the next chain, which is the top of that chain right here. That chain 2 that you started your first row in. You're going to single crochet. Then you're going to do a half double crochet, which a half double crochet, you yarn over. You're going to go in the hole for your V-stitch, pull your loop through, and then you're going to go through all 3 loops that are on your crochet hook. Then you're going to do 3 double crochets in that same space. Okay? That's 3 double crochets. You're going to do 1 more half double in the same space. Okay, going through all 3 loops. And then there is a space between your V-stitches. You can see how your V-stitches are formed here. Got a dark background here, but your V-stitches are formed there, and you have a gap in between. That gap in between is where you're going to put a slip stitch. Okay, so you go through the hole, pull up your yarn, and then you're going to pull that directly through as a slip stitch. This is the start of your petals for your rose. You're going to do this all the way to the end. You're going to chain 1 after your slip stitch. You're going to do your half double. Then you're going to do 3 double crochets, which gives you your height in your crochet stitches. And then you're going to do a half double. Don't get this double done. Do a half double. And now your slip stitch goes in that space in between, which gives you your petal shape. If you don't do the height of the stitches and secure it down with a slip stitch, you don't get the rounding of your petals. I'm going to continue on with this. Oh, thank you so much. I'm here to help. I mean, if I'm not here live, you can always message me. Hey, look, I'm having trouble with this. I will look up patterns. If I have to purchase a pattern, I will, to help you learn how to do what you're doing, because I'm here to be helpful. We're supposed to be here to be helpful. We're supposed to support each other. We're supposed to inspire each other. And not everybody can learn from one form of video, you know. Sometimes you can watch it a couple times and it still doesn't become clear. And, you know, it takes for somebody to want to go over it with you more than one time, you know. And if you don't understand a video, sometimes it's watching the video again doesn't help. I've done it several times trying to learn. And when I have somebody there with me that will go through it, okay, I got to this part, but now what do I do? You know, because things just don't seem clear. I'm here to help. Here to help. And for everybody who's stopping by, Terry Barron, thank you for stopping. Everyone else who I missed while I'm yammering on and crocheting, thank you for coming today. And yeah, I'm gonna just give a little stop here at this point so I can kind of show you, once you get done, you're actually gonna roll this up. Maybe I'll go a little bit more because you're not going to be able to see it from here. My hook slipped out and I'm going to pull some back. I'm going to do another double. And a half double. And a slip stitch. Chain 1. Half double in the V-stitch. Double crochet in the same V-stitch 3 times. And Minnie, this probably is along the same line, if you're still here, as that bath poof that you're currently working on. And these work up really quick. There's only 3 rows. I have done them to where, and I don't want to confuse you too much, I just want to show you the basics of this right now. Once you get done with this row, you're going to go back through. Send me as many messages as you need to. Send me as many messages. I am on here every day. I'm going to go ahead and, I only got 2 more. We're going to go ahead and finish these up. And to show you this last one, because it's going to be a little different on the end than it's going to be where you normally started, because it's going to kind of roll around the edge. And I'll show you that here because I'm coming up on that right now. This last little V-stitch, which is the chain 2 and stuff that you started in the beginning. It's going to kind of roll around the edge when you do it, but it's okay. It's not going to stand up at the top. And you can see how this is already starting to roll around. You can also do this on an elastic hairband so that you can, what you do is you just do your chain, your 35 chain around an elastic hairband, and you have a rose that you can put on your hair. Half double crochet, 2 and 3. I don't know half double. I don't know if you were doing this with me or if you're just watching currently. Oh, you finished the drawstring for the soap portion. Now you have this little spot right here. I just do a slip stitch into that. And I'm going to go ahead and fasten this off. I know it's not complete, but this is what it'll look like, but you'll have it done all the way down this tail. I didn't complete the tail just so that I can show you. The end where I cast off, there's actually another row on here that you can omit, or you can do. You just go back and single crochet over all of these little stitches on the end. I have taken and done red roses and done white on the edge. You can do any color rose and do an accent color around the edge. It makes it really pretty. But when you roll this, I always start from the end where I ended. And I will take this string and I will lay it back so it lays with this petal right here. Lays diagonal with that petal. You can see it. Then I just start rolling this up. And as you roll it, you can make this bigger, but you got to make sure that you have enough stitches. This is not going to roll very easy for me. My fingers don't want to work today. And I have a lot of, well, not a lot of, I have one autoimmune disease that causes a lot of mobility issues for me sometimes. But I'm trying to stay in frame so you can see. And you don't have to wrap it very tight. You can wrap it very loosely. And if this was filled out, it would be a lot fuller. I have some over here somewhere that I've done on my shelf, but I don't know right where they are right now. But this is really, really loose. I probably should have done the rest of it. But you can see how the rose here is already starting to form. And I try to make sure that when I wrap it up, that these petals aren't in the same spot. I try to make sure that the petals are a little offset so that you can actually, here we go. We're getting a little better look here now that we're playing around with it a little bit. You can see how the rose here is already starting to take shape. And as you finish the rest of this up, it will be fuller, but I just wanted to give you, and it's not very hard. On your first row, you are going to chain 35. If you want to do multiples, if you want to do more than that, you can do more than that. It's going to give you a bigger rose. I'm not sure how many. you're going to need one V-stitch for every petal. So you're looking at one, you're going to have to, it's probably multiples of 3 for each stitch, for each clump, because you're going to expand into that. But you can make your chain as long as you want. If you want to make it 50, make it 50. If you still have a little hanging over, you can just tuck that up into the rows. But what I do at the end, I leave a long enough tail. I leave at least 10-inch tail from where I start, or when I cut it off, because I will hook a sewing needle into this and I will work. I'm going to show you here. I will take this string, because you have to sew it together, and I will work through these little sections here. I don't know if you can see these little holes in here, and I will just, you know, go in and come out through the top, and then go in through the same spot in the top, making sure not to pull it too tightly, because you'll pucker your rows back through the back, just so that once you let go of it, it stays like this. And I actually have some leaves and some floral wire. I'll probably do a video on that too. Okay, when you add a different color, what I'll do is I'll show you here. I just fasten it off. Okay. I don't know if you saw me fasten it off. What I do is I go through my work and I chain 2, and then I cut my yarn to the length I want, and I pull that through the chain 2 and just give that a little tight pull. That's how I fasten it off. But to do a second color, just do another slip knot, and all of these extra strings can be woven in when you get finished before you roll it up. Now we stopped on this side, so we are going to turn it to what is called the back side, which is not as pretty as the front side. You can't see as much detail with your stitches and all of that. And you're going to come into here and attach right where you ended. Get this to go through here. And if you take these two together, these two ends, well, not this end, because you need that end to sew it up. You can work over your end as you go along, so you don't have as much to weave in. I'm going to go down into the next stitch. You're going to go through both loops of that stitch. I'll show you the V-stitch here. You can see that I've got a hold of, let me put it over here in the camera where you can see. I went through, you can see that V right there. I went through both. I didn't catch just one, because if you catch just one, you're going to cause like a ripple, and that's just one. We want to go through the whole stitch. And pull this over this way. You're just going to single crochet through all of those stitches, all the way across until you come to the other end. I'm surprised that I can remember this. I haven't done these. And you're also going to catch that single crochet. Make sure you catch that single crochet. And this is going to follow the lump of your, you know, the round of your petals. Shouldn't flatten it out. I might have to do a single crochet where the single crochets are, because that looks like it wants to try to flatten out where my single crochet is, or my slip stitch. So when you come to your slip stitch, just do a slip stitch, and then your single crochets, you continue on the top of your petals. In between your petals, do your single crochet. And what that does is it gives you a nice little detail on there. Here's our single, our slip stitch. And I'm just going to pull this out like this, and I'll roll this back around. Actually, I should have done that on the other side, so it doesn't look so the way it does. And should I roll it this way? No. Yeah, I should have done that on the same side, but you can get the idea when you start to roll it up. And as it gets bigger, it would be better for me to show you on a bigger scale, but I can do a video, and I will make sure I'll write down your thing, and I will tag you in the video. But yeah, I used to make these with the floral wire. I'll probably do a video to show you how to do it with the floral wire and have everything out here and ready. Have one already done. And, you know, that way, if anybody wants to. I wanted to turn my TikTok more into like classes, craft classes. If I can get plenty of people, you know. So right now I'm just teaching myself and anybody who wants to listen. JD Good 92, welcome, welcome. But yes, if anybody has any other questions, I'm glad I could be helpful. Very, very glad. And if you want, I don't know if you can save lives or not. This is how new I am to doing this portion on TikTok, other than scrolling and watching everybody else's wonderful videos. But I'm going to come back to this here and get this other corner started, because this is something that I want to get done and sent out by the end of the week. You only know how to make socks. Ooh, I can't see that little print, and my eyes are just like... Is that Aaron Lohman? If you want to learn socks, I can do socks too. I can make socks. I can actually take a pair off that I have on right now, if you can ignore the dog hair. I love these, and I will show you. This is a knit and crochet together. I have a white German Shepherd, and, you know, I sweep up for the dog hair on the daily. I'm going to kind of lay this flat because it's kind of hard to see it the way I have my camera put. But this is a sock that I have knitted, and I added a lace band to make it look like a sneaker and a sole. This is also a pattern on, I think you can find it on Pinterest, or maybe it's on Ravelry. Those are the two places I get my stuff. Thank you. Oh yeah, this is really easy to do. It's called the Reverse, Reaverse. I think that one is on Ravelry, but they are a free pattern. And the sock is knitted. The sole is crocheted. And I made the first pair for my husband. They're like a North Carolina blue, the Panthers, that blue color, the baby blue color, or powder blue. And I actually did a little star here on the sides. That is in my TikTok. I did do a video on those. I think I shared the pattern, but again, I can put a bunch of links. I'll have to check with my friends. Hey, how do I put links for these? Wendy Fiber Artist, welcome. Issa Coco, how long did this take to make? I am a stay-at-home wife. All my kids are grown, so I have all the time in the world. I don't really know how long it took, but I do know that the first pair I made I had done in a couple of days. Of course, I have 2 dogs that I take care of, and, you know, got to keep the house up. But there are some things that I would change with these. I don't think I made the sole long enough, and I see now I've already got my stitching coming out, so I'm going to have to fix that. But it's actually a sock with the sole done separate, and you sew it together. Well, enjoy the little ones while you can, Issa Coco, because I'm telling you what, empty nesters, I have always wanted to be an empty nester. Now I'm not happy about it. So, But yeah, if anybody wants to learn to knit, I can do classes on here. We can do multi-guest so that I can see what you're trying to show me if you're having issues. Yeah, just let me know. I don't know if everybody has Discord. I do have my own Discord where video calls can be done if you want. So, yeah. And as far as crocheted socks, you can do a crocheted sock just like this. If you want to do one, I will find a crocheted sock pattern and I can show you how to do the sock crocheted, and the sole, the pattern for it is already there. Like I said, this is the largest sole pattern. I think what I'm going to do next time when I go to do the sole is I'm going to purchase an insole for my size foot and make sure that, you know, the crocheted sole is big enough, because this is like sliding under my heel. But you find that out after you knit a project and things need to be a little altered. But I'm going to put this back on because my feet are getting cold now. That's another one of my issues. But yeah, if anybody wants to learn to knit, I can schedule a live with multi-guests, or we can do, if you just want the one-on-one, if you have Discord, I also have Facebook Messenger. We can go that route. So I'm here to help. But I'm going to work on this, and if you all have any other questions, I am still here. You just know how to 14 and 16. What is that? Getting a little fidgety now. I always have to have something in my hand, some type of handwork. I knit, I crochet, I do needlepoint, I do plastic canvas, everything yarn. I love everything yarn. I'm even thinking about getting into making some of those rugs. Like you see the guys making those rugs with the Pokemon and all that kind of stuff on it. I was thinking about doing that too, but you know. A lot of crafts and not enough time to do all that I want to do. But Erin, I still don't know what the 14-16 is, and I'm curious. Got a lot of people coming in, a lot of new people. Alright, so we're going to start back on this. We're doing this corner extension, and I'm going to start with the white. And attach in the corner like it says to do. The slip stitch. Get this up here. All right, Brooks, you better get to work on those bunnies, girl. You got a deadline. Got to do a cluster. Make sure to get that little Heidi stitch. I like to miss that one a lot. As far as knitting and crocheting, to me, it's just a bunch of loops, because you're making a loop on your hook. Yeah, the kids always need you. Kids always need you. You're always making loops. It's just loop upon loop upon loop. Same thing with knitting. It's just loops. And I was hoping to have this done to the point last night that I could show you the knitted portion, and I'll probably have to do another video because I still have to sew together and I still have to single crochet around the openings. Now, I might just make this a daily thing. What do y'all think? Would y'all like to be here and use a 5.5. The crochet hook. Yeah, because that's what I'm using. Well, actually, it's a 5. It's a 3.75 millimeter. And, you know, depending on, when I was making that rose, depending on what yarn you're using, and look at the label, and you're going to use the crochet hook if you're making the roses. If you're knitting, you know, go by the pattern, what hook size it says, because it's set for what you're making, for it to come out the right size that, you know, they've determined in the pattern. But if you're just freehanding, use a recommended hook or needles for knitting, hook for crochet that is recommended by the yarn. And again, the craft is yours. You dabble a little bit with metal hooks, wooden hooks, with knitting. Of course, you know, they've got resin and plastic, all different types of materials to make the hooks and the needles that we use. You find what works best for you. Some yarns that I've worked with, cashmere and silk, they really don't like wood. So they prefer metal needles because it just doesn't slide very well, or it shreds your yarn up and down the wooden needle. Oh, thank you, Brooks. Yeah, I don't know if I've showed everybody how it's going to look on here. I can stop once I get to the end of this row, and us old crafters know, always finish the row before you lay your stuff down, because when you come back, you might not know where you finished, especially if you've got, you know, a pattern that you're working. You don't know what stitch you left on, so it's best to just finish out the row, unless it's an emergency and you have to run after kids, and then you just kind of have to throw it to the side and run. I've done that before too, trying to do this with little ones that are quiet, and then once you really get started and get in the zone, that seems when they want mom. And I can really get to going here. I want to make sure that I stay in frame. Yeah, throw and go. You know, Brooks. Little Lucas keeps you on your toes, girlfriend. I know that for sure. I'll pull this. I always make sure that I pull a big enough loop when I lay it down, because I pick it up and I pull and this goes short and your stitches get caught and yanked out. This is going to be the back side, and this is what they'll see from the back. I have to fold this way. It's actually, you know, more of a shrug-shaped cardigan for those who have knitted or crocheted shrugs before. It's kind of not square like a regular, you know, cardigan would be. Trying to see this little tiny print. What do you do with all the extra yarn? I'm going to have to give you all a visual one day of all the extra yarn. I know my friends are laughing because they see it every day. Oh, let me see if I can move this very quickly, and I'll let you see what you do with the extra yarn. I'm not sure if I'm even turning it the right way. When I have extra yarn left over from a project, I will, I use a yarn winder, and let me make sure that we're not looking at the thing that's holding it now. I use a yarn winder, and I'll wind it up like this in a cake, because when I get done with this one will get wound up, because I don't like loose skeins laying around, because they get snagged and it all comes unwinding, like you can see right here just from it sitting here. I use my yarn winder. I'll show you that just so everybody knows what a yarn winder is. I attach it to my table. I wind the loose yarn up so it you know, it doesn't get snagged or jumbled up or all of that. And I'll set it aside. I've done a lot, and I could really pull out a lot of the stuff that I've done, and you guys would be like, oh, I want to learn how to do that too. I use it to make granny squares for blankets if it's only a little bit. The end clippings. I save a bucket of end clippings from when I weaved in all my ends. And I will use this for stuffing, to stuff stuffed animals. It helps save a little bit on the polyfill, but you don't want to use just all this because it's not as, you know, fluffy as a polyfill. But it works in a pinch. If you run out and you don't want to go get another box of polyfill. What did I show, Brooks? I haven't shown everything else. But yeah, I make granny squares. I know I have some right over here that I can show you. And eventually I get enough of these granny squares and I will border them and sew them into a blanket. And it's just little scraps of, it's not even worth rolling up, you know, because it just doesn't even make a big enough ball. You know, you got a little ball like this. This is going to be a granny square or part of one. And I keep these in a bucket beside my chair. Whenever I feel like doing some up, or if the bucket gets full, I'll do some up. And I have a bag that I keep them in until I get enough, and then I'll. You lost your arms. What happened? You made some bunny arms and forgot where you put them? Did you leave them on the bus? That's what you did last time. But yeah, again, I'm here to help. I'm here to, you know, help people learn. People who I have been doing this, like I said, since I was 9. It's been over 40 years. And I still have to go to my mom and say, hey, look, I don't understand this. She's the one that taught me. She'll help me. Or, you know, I talk to the girls in the group, hey, you know, how do I do this? What's going on? Why am I not getting this? So it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. You know, there's a lot of stuff in knit that I haven't done. My favorite thing to do in knit is cables. It gives texture to your work. I've done cable sweaters. I've done lace sweaters. A lot of it's in my TikTok, in my profile. A lot of it I did for my mom because she's a sweater wearer, and I just wanted to make sweaters. Now I want to start learning. I haven't done brioche knitting. Good morning, Darlene. I hope that's right. TikTok doesn't put the names as bright as the comments. But I haven't done mosaic knitting, which I'd like to do. I haven't done the brioche, which I'd like to try. I've done color work. And I could show you some examples if you're interested of the color work. I've done color work knitting and crochet. Witchy of Bedlam will tell you that I've done corner to corner, and she thinks that's the devil. She is persistent on trying to finish up a corner to corner square. She's not going to let it beat her, but she said she'll never do it again. So yeah, there's some knitting techniques or crocheting techniques that some people don't like. Hi, baby girl. How are you doing? We're having crochet knit class on TikTok. I'm getting a class roster together. We're going to be doing this on certain days. I will do a video. I'll put it out there. If you guys want to do certain things, let me know, and I'll do that with you. It gives me something to do rather than sit around here all day. I'm glad you're doing good. Trying to figure out what to do. It just gives me a little bit of direction. But yeah, you can leave it in the comments. I won't see the comments after the live. Mama and Grammy. Sounds like a plan. Come join the knit class. It's free. You have to BYOC. Bring your own coffee. But yeah, I'd like to do this on a schedule. I want to do my lives, particularly for me, on days like today because it does accommodate my friends. I like having my friends here with me. Hook me up, my friend. I cannot see your name on there. I hate when TikTok does that. Mama and Grammy. I'm going to have to follow some of you guys. Give me a follow. Drop me a message. Add me to your class. Add me to your live. You know, I'll follow you so that, you know, or you follow me so you get it. If I don't, you know, get everybody in there, spread the word. I'll be here. I don't know how many multi-guests we can do, but yeah, maybe we'll call it Pick a Craft with a Yarnologist live, and we'll have it to where we can help everybody. Thank you, Minnie. Let me tell you what, Minnie, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here doing this right now. So I think everybody's going to be appreciative to the fact that you were on TikTok and you didn't give up the lives. We were talking about that this morning. But yeah, I just want to be helpful. And I don't know if anybody has anything else they would like to see. I'm really interested in showing you guys all kinds of things right now. There's a lot of people coming in, a lot of people liking the live. Welcome to everybody coming in new. I am visually impaired, and TikTok doesn't like to put the names in a bolder color. I just want to acknowledge everybody that's coming in, but I just can't see. I see a bunch of people coming in now. But yeah, if anybody has anything that they would like to see right now, throw it right on up there. Yeah, Mini Donkey Lover is the best. She's the best. But I'm going to continue on with this for now, unless somebody, you know, has a suggestion or something else that you would like to see. I'd be more than glad to demonstrate. Another decrease here. Decrease 3 together. If you want to know stitches, I can show stitches, knit or crochet. I do both. If I don't know the stitch, I will research it and I will help you. We'll learn together. You were scrolling and you knew these hands. Might have to put gloves on next time, see if we can't confuse you. Whose hands are those? All right. Give him a kiss for me. My little grandson, he's so cute. And I do think I have the multi-guest icon on here. If anybody wants to multi-guest today and ask questions, please feel free. If you need help on a project you're working on currently, I'm here. Elizabeth Young, welcome, welcome. Got stuff going in and out early on this Tuesday morning, about mid-morning now. I forgot to set my clocks in my room here. I do have, of course, the auto update on the cell phone, but I've got mantle clocks that chime and I just love them, and I did not fix the time on them, so I'm living in a time warp right now. Oh, you'll chat with me later? No, it didn't show guest request. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'll have to check that out and make sure that I've got it done right. I'm sorry about that very much. Minnie, you have a good day. I'll probably see you after a while. But yeah, I like yarn. I like the fiber arts. My mother has told me that the teacher has, or the student has surpassed the teacher. There's things that I do that she has no want to do, like the devil corner to corner. You need granny square help. Okay, do you know how to make a granny square currently? What type of help are you looking for with the granny squares? Do you need directly from the beginning? Because I can do that right now. Just let me get to the end of this row. The famous last words. Finish this row off so I make sure that I got my decreases at the end, because if not, it will really confuse me. And I will pull out a color that we can see easily. Black is the worst color to start with as a knitter or a crocheter. It's hard to see the stitches. It's hard to demonstrate the stitches because it gets lost in the darkness. Okay, I will start out right from the beginning. Are you familiar with the magic circle method in crocheting? Or when you try, do you chain so many and attach them together to make a circle? Oops, decrease. We're talking and not paying attention. There's that chewing gum and walking issue again. Alright, we're to the end of the row here. We're going to do our decrease, and we're going to set this to the side. I can show both ways, and I'm trying to figure out what would be the best yarn, and I'm probably going to go up to a worsted weight. The stitches will be bigger. You will be able to see them better. Grab this one right here. And I'm using the same size hook. Yeah, you can do solid colors. You can change the color after every round if you want multiple colors like I just showed. Let me pull one of these back out here. Each color is a round. Each color. I did fasten off after each round on these and attach the next color. So I will show you how to start. I will teach you the magic circle if you want. I can show it both ways so that if you already know how to do it one way, you'll know how to do it that way, and you'll know how to do it the other way. I use a slip knot, and I'll show you how I do a slip knot. I hold the yarn behind my index finger and my middle finger, and then I wrap it around, and when I come to the front, I pull it towards the palm of my hand or the back of my hand. I put my hook underneath the front, and then I grab a hold of this and pull it through and give it a little twist. Okay, I'll show you that again for those who are actually doing it right now. If you need me to slow down, I'll pay more attention to the comments and I will slow down for you. I always turn my hook upside down when I put it in between my fingers to grab this. That way when I pull it out here, I'm going to twist so my hook is facing up. Okay, and at this point, for the magic circle, we would continue on. Okay, but I'm going to show you just a slip knot at this point. And most patterns, older patterns, some of the newer patterns are using this magic circle now, which works really nice. But you are going to chain 3. And then you are going to go into the first chain You only have to grab one stitch for this. And you're going to pull a loop through so that you have 2 loops on your crochet hook. Okay? Then you're going to yarn over, what they call yarn over, and you're going to pull through both of those. You don't want to pull it too tight because this actually creates a circle with a hole in it. And I'm going to demonstrate the hole with a knitting needle here. The hole is right in the middle. Okay? That's where you're going to work all your stitches through. For me, it's kind of hard to do it this way, but I'm going to show you this way because you actually have to put all of these stitches, 3, 6, 9, 12 stitches in that circle. Okay? So, you're going to chain 2 after you've got your circle. You're going to chain 2. And that counts as one of these double crochets here because we're going to do double crochets. Okay, I always use double crochets for my grannies. You can use half doubles if you like. It just makes them smaller. If you do trebles, they get kind of loose, but they're bigger in size because the height of the stitch. You're going to do 2 double crochets in this circle. That's your next step. 2 double crochets. There's 1 and there's 2. So because of your chain 2 in the beginning and your 2 double crochets, the chain 2 actually counts as your first double crochet. You have 3 double crochets in here now. So next you're going to chain 2. Okay, and I work over my yarn that's hanging. You're going to make sure that you go back into that same hole right there where your other stitches were. You're going to put 3 more double crochets in there. Okay? This is 1. And then 2. Oh. Pull some yarn out of here. 3 double crochets. Okay, this point you're going to do 2 more chains, 2 more single crochet, or yeah, chain 2. Let me get my verbiage right. And you're going to do 3 more double crochets in the same hole. So we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now you look like that. Now you're going to chain 2 again. And then again, 3 double crochets in that same hole in the center that you've made in the beginning. The stitches are getting a little wonky here. Probably should have went with a bigger needle, but it's okay. Okay, and when you get that done, you have a little square. Okay, it's not connected, but we're going to connect it. So you're going to chain 2. Okay, you're going to come into the top of your chain 2 that you did in the beginning when you started. You want to catch both sides of that stitch. You see the V that is formed here? Make sure I'm in the camera frame. Yeah, let's see a little bit better. There is a V right there. You can see the little space in the middle. You want to make sure that you catch both sides of that V. And you're going to yarn over and pull through. And then you're going to go right through that stitch that's on your needle. And you have a basic granny square. I'm going to stop for a minute and see if you are okay with that OG flower child. And naturally, Amber, yeah, you can learn how to do granny squares too. We're going to be doing stuff on here. If I can get, at least 2 people, I'll do a class on live. Or, like I said, I do have Discord if you have Discord. If you want to invite, just shoot me a message here on TikTok. Wherever you want to have the classes. I have Facebook Messenger. I don't know, I don't have Skype on my phone, but I do have it on the computer, but it would be hard for me to do it that way. But wherever, you know, you guys want to learn, I started with the chain, Mel. You can start with magic circle. That works out just the same way. You just have to tighten your magic circle up. Okay. I will take a consensus on my classes, and I will try to accommodate everybody. If it works out best for you in the morning, we'll do it in the morning. If it works best in the afternoon, if you can't make the schedule that accommodates everybody, I will work with you one-on-one. Either through Discord, I can do a live with just you on TikTok, Facebook Messenger again. You know, I'm free all day from about 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 3 p.m. So I can guarantee you any time during that. But we'll continue on with this next row. If you guys are ready, I will show you the next row. It's pretty much repeating the same stitches, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the spaces. So now we are going to do, I'll show you how to do the corners. If everybody's ready, we'll continue on. We are going to, from this point, we are going to chain 2. Yeah, that's your time too. At Brooks. Chain 2. And we are going to do a double, we're going to do 3 double crochets in this next space right here. So if you're following along and if you're crocheting along with me, go ahead and do 3 double crochets. And I hope that everybody, I hope I'm holding this to the point that everybody can see what I'm doing. If you can't see what I'm doing or you need me to repeat a step, just let me know. And we'll go through and we'll repeat the step. Thank you for the gifts, Anna Marie. Thank you very much. After the 3 double crochets, you're going to chain 2. And then you're going to do 3 more double crochets in that same spot. We are creating a corner on the granny square. Yeah, I chose the name. I was talking to someone earlier. I don't know if they're still in here. Sweet Pickle Feet, are you still here? I asked her how she chose that name, and she said 30 years ago she just picked some words and put them together. So I chose the yarnologist because I study the use of yarn, and I would like to teach the many uses of yarn. So just to let Sweet Pickle Feet know how I got mine. If anybody knows Sweet Pickle Feet, tag her. Let her know we're talking about her over here. At this point, you're going to chain 2 again. Let's get back on topic, giving everybody a minute to catch up. And you're going to repeat the same thing in this corner. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets in that same space. So we're going to work through that. Oops. Hook slide out because the yarn got too tight. Here's 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 2, 3 more in the same space. I'm glad I did this TikTok today because I'm really getting to do what I wanted to do with TikTok, and that was teach. I do. We can do projects together if you like. Going to chain 2 again, and we're on to the next space. We're going to do 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and do 3 more double crochets in that same space. So pretty much for granny squares you are working in the spaces, and in a pattern they would abbreviate that as SP, and sometimes they'll say in the chain 1 space or the chain 2 space. As for granny squares, this would be in the chain 2 space. And we're just going to continue on around back to where we started, right up over here. Again with the chain 2. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. 3 double crochets in that corner space. There's the third one. We're going to chain 2 more. I'm going to do 3 more double crochets in that exact same space you were just working. And you can see how this has already made a square. And then when we come back up, we had a chain 2 before we started. We're just going to slip stitch inside of that chain 2 space, just like that. Move my needle out of the way. Move this out of the way so you can see. And there you have your square. You're just going to continue that around. On the corners, you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 more double crochets. In each space that you have on the flat sides, you're going to do 3 double crochets and chain 2 to get you to the corner. All right, baby girl, I'm here. I'll let you know the schedule. I'll let you know what we're doing. Mama and Granny are very so much welcome. If anybody wants to see that from the start with the magic circle, I can show you how to do the magic circle. It makes it a little easier to do it because you can do it in a row and then you tighten up the hole in the middle. I think it's easier to do. I like the magic circle better than the way I just showed. This one here was done magic circle. You can see the nice clean hole in the middle. This one here was done with the, joining the chain together to make a circle. It gives a little bit of difference on the finished product. I do like the way this looks a lot better. Some people, can do it this way. And my stitches did get a little wonky, so let me see if I can pull that to the back there. Yeah, that does bring the, it's just my stitches got wonky. You can see that the holes are the same now in the middle. Trying to read all the comments. Everybody coming in and joining. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to use the Yarnologist TikTok to teach. If there's anything that you want to learn, knitting, crocheting, anything that does with yarn, I use plastic canvas. All types of yarns I've worked with. Silk, I've worked with cashmere, I've worked with wool and alpaca. All the people here, I know they didn't get to see the socks that I made, which I now have currently on my feet because they're keeping them warm. I'm here to teach and to help anybody who needs it. If you can't make the lives, just hit me up in a message. I do have Discord, Facebook Messenger, where I can video and help anybody who wants help. I don't want to leave if there's others coming in and they have knitting or crocheting questions or help that they would like with. And I will show you how to finish this off. All you do, and there's many ways to join. I do a mattress stitch to join my squares together after I've outlined them in whatever color I want. I normally do a single crochet border around the square. Mostly I do it in black just so the colors pop in the blanket. If you're making certain colors, like if you're using these colors for granny squares, you might want to border them in the white or one of the colors that you're using. If you're using a certain set of colors, most granny square blankets don't. It's just to use up your scraps. So thank you, Witchy. They have where they've used the granny square stitch to go back and forth on wide projects to make larger cardigans. I've never done that. But yeah, we're basically teaching here. Anybody who wants to join can. I'll let you know on my lives. Tuesday I'll probably take suggestions, and probably after Tuesday I will do my instruction on whoever has suggested something. I'll try to make sure that I cover everybody. Oh, Mama and Grandma, you're so welcome. Good morning, Chaos. How are you doing? I hope you were able to figure out your kerfuffle yesterday. I know you used that seam ripper a pretty good bit. Yeah, finally I'm able to do with TikTok what I wanted to do. I was showing some instruction today, got some comments. Some people want to learn a couple of things. So as far as the crocheted socks, I'm not sure who mentioned the crocheted socks, and I'm going to have to put a notepad down here and take notes. Yeah, shoot me a message, please. We'll do a TikTok and we'll do crocheted socks. And I can show you how to do the crocheted socks and make the sneakers like I just did. It doesn't have to be a knitted sock. It could be a crocheted sock. So, let me know. It's coming up on time where I do need to go. The husband calls me every day to check on me. I do have another 30 minutes if anybody has any questions or would like to see me demonstrate something else. We did go over a little bit here today. We did crocheted roses. We demonstrated the granny square. I did show the cardigan here that I'm working on and a bunch of us are working on. I'm glad you finished it up. Didn't have to put it in a timeout bin. I know sometimes when I get to making a whole lot of errors on whatever I'm crocheting or knitting, I just got to take a time out and give my mind a rest and say, okay, we're going to look at this again here in a few minutes, and I'll pick up something that doesn't require a lot of thought, because I always have to have my hands going, or I start fidgeting like I'm doing now. So I am going to go ahead and end the live for today. I thank everybody who came out. I don't know if everybody's still here. I don't think so, because it's kind of dwindling down now. I hope everybody has a good day, and that all of their... Oh, hold on. I just got a question, and is watching you right now. Do you have any tips for her? Well, I was 9 when I started, and my mother taught me how to crochet, and I learned how to do chains. And I was 9 years old, so, you know, I did chains in all different colors, and I hung them around my room. It looked like a Mardi Gras parade in there, really, honestly. My mother did not push me until I said, okay, Mom, what do we do next? How do we make this? And that's what we did. If your children are interested and they show interest in what you're doing, just show them what you're doing, you know? And if they don't want to learn the second step, wait until they do. So, you know, and if she has questions, I know TikTok is kind of, you know, about minors, but I'm sure that she can look over your shoulder while you're watching my live, and I can help her out too. Any questions that she has, anything that she wants to make, I have the patience of Job, and I'm here to help anybody and everybody. And like I had said earlier in the live, if I don't know how to do it, I will research it and we'll learn together. So, I hope that's helpful. If she has any questions, they're working on chaining and tension. Chaining is the first step for crochet, yes. Tension will come as you work. You're not going to learn tension from a chain. She's going to need to do, you know, once she gets on to the next step, when she's, you know, satisfied with, okay, let's move on, then, you know, a single crochet, I would start out with the smaller stitches and teach her how to do that. And, you know, as far as tension, when I'm crocheting, I can show you how I hold my tension. And it depends on, you know, whoever's comfortable, however they're comfortable. If you're left-handed and you're watching videos, I will tell you this, turn your phone or your tablet or whatever you're watching away from you and put a mirror in front of it and watch it in the mirror. You will see it left-handed, as long as your phone doesn't flip the image. Okay, yeah. When I first started, I would loop it around my pinky and have it up over my finger. but then it would get tight here at the pinky as I'm pulling. You can see the yarn. As I pull the yarn, it starts to pull my pinky finger in. If you hold it too tight, the yarn will cut through your skin, so you don't want to hold it too tight. The way I hold it now, I drape it over these two fingers, and I will hold it loosely in the palm of my hand, just like this. You can see that my pinky has most of the tension, but it's not tight. I can still very freely pull that through without giving myself rope burn. You don't want to do that. But I do hold it this way. This is where I grab my stitches from, you know. I'll just do a couple chains here so she can see. And as you can see, I'll try to do it this way so you can see how I hold the tension as well. It might not be too successful, but you know, it pulls. No, I have to have it closed up. Let me see. It pulls rather loosely. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if I can hold it a little closer. And it just flows freely, but it's got just, there's not a whole lot of slack. And I don't know how to explain that. It might be easier, you know, for you to explain slack, because that's part of the tension. But yeah, I can sit. I don't know if you have Facebook Messenger or if you have Discord. I do have those two for, you know, video chat. Anything she wants to learn, anything at all. And probably start out with a larger hook. I know it doesn't make sense to use a larger hook with worsted weight, but as long as she's just practicing, yeah, I would use a larger size hook. Or get her one of those handles to go on to make this bigger, because sometimes doing this, gripping this so hard to try and keep a hold of this and control of this, you're gripping this just as hard on the other side. So either a grip on her crochet hook or one of those ergonomic crochet hooks that have a larger handle might be better. You know, it's going to depend on her really, because like I said, the craft has no... Oh, she's got hooks and stuff that she, for her birthday. Oh, that's great. But yeah, it's all what works best for her. I can give tips, I can give suggestions. I don't hold the yarn the same way my mother taught me, because I found that I can crochet faster this way. I really don't rightly remember, but I know I don't hold it the same way my mother does. So if you knit loosely, I think that's Jessie. I'm sorry, I can't really see your name because it's just, TikTok doesn't make it bright enough. If you want a tighter stitch and you do have a looser tension, yeah, you do want to use a smaller hook. If you're working a pattern in wearables, you want to be careful going down a hook, because that changes the size of your wearable using a smaller hook. So you always want to check, do a gauge swatch. It should tell you in the pattern how to do the gauge swatch. And make sure that, you know, the smaller needle isn't going to make your gauge smaller than what's required. So she's got large and small hooks. That's good. But yeah, just follow me. You don't have to follow me to send a message, I don't think. But yeah, drop me a message. Anybody? No, you don't start that now. I got two dogs that want to start chiming in too. They want to talk on TikTok. It's Mommy's turn to talk. But yeah, just let me know what you want to learn, what you need help with. I'm here to help anybody and everybody. And if we get enough people, or even if we don't get enough people, I'll do individual classes. It doesn't matter. And I'm not charging anything. No, I don't normally do a gauge for my granny squares. I've seen them do granny square cardigans. I haven't seen a pattern for one. I don't know if that requires gauge, but as far as making a blanket and just stitching granny squares together, you just put as many as you want to make the width and the length. You can keep going around the granny square. You don't have to just stop at, I've got 3 rounds here. Sometimes I do 4 and then a border, depending on how big you want it. You know, your granny square. I've done 10 rounds on a granny square and made a blanket with granny squares that have 10 rounds. It's just all preference. But no. Eeyore Lover. Oh, that's a lovely name. We got a mini donkey lover was here earlier. Now we have Eeyore Lover. But yeah, that was the gauge question. No, you don't have to do gauge. The one thing I do recommend is if you're using worsted weight yarn, whatever yarn you're using to make your granny squares, use the recommended size hook on the yarn label. You know, unless you're following a pattern for like a granny square cardigan where you make so many of these and sew them together, they might require a gauge because it has sizing. So that would be the only reason. And if you did have to gauge a granny square, you would make it as described in the pattern, and you would do as many rounds as it describes in the pattern, and then you would use, of course, your tape measure to measure your granny square this way and this way to make sure that it is gauged, that it meets gauge. If it doesn't, if it's too small, you need to go up a hook and redo your gauge. If it's too big, then you need to go down a hook and redo your gauge. It basically depends. The knitting gauge depends on tension. Because I can take a larger hook and make it knit tight, or crochet tight, I'm sorry. Not knit. You don't knit with crochet hooks. But no, you don't necessarily need the gauge for that. So I am going to go ahead and end for today. I know I said I was going to do that earlier, but we're going to go ahead and end the live for today. And I hope that I've been helpful. And I hope to see you all next time. If you have friends that want to learn how to knit or crochet and they're just starting off at the basics, you know, tag them. Tell them, come check this woman out. We're going to be doing classes. And I will know by the end of the week when I'm going to do, what day of the week I'll do my classes, depending on how many people and how many items they want to see. We might have multiple classes. We might do a longer live so we can accommodate everybody who has commented for that week, and we'll start the next week off with you know, a new set of let me sees. We might call them let me sees. Let me see you do it. But anyway, happy crafting. Good luck to the 10-year-olds starting out and anybody who's starting out in this craft. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And happy crafting.